All right, welcome guys. Thank you so much for checking out my first tutorial video. I'm MTGNerdGirl. There will be links to all the information down below, links to my stream, links to the game, links to their Twitter, all the info you'll need to check out this game. So we're going to be going over Alliance Aligned. It's a new game that's coming out. It's in beta still. It's available for everybody to play. It's free. It's a browser-only game, so you guys don't need to download anything, you don't need to purchase the game, everything is good to go. The only thing you would need to do is log on and make an account the same way you would in a Facebook account or any other kind of account. So this is the home screen, and like I said, it is browser-only. I just have it like maximized, so you don't have to see all the browser stuff. Now that we have the game open, everything's good to go. You're logged on. You have a couple different options. You can build a deck. Oh, by the way, you also have access to all of the cards, which is really cool. You don't need to worry about grinding out quests and dumping money into the game like you do a lot of other card games. So I think this is a really neat idea, browser only, 100% access to the whole collection. It's very, very unique, I think. All right, so once you log on, you can play the game against other players, build a deck, play basic decks. They come with starter decks for all the different classes. Or my favorite thing to do currently, because it is still in beta, while I'm learning all the new cards and figuring out what each class is like, I like to play against the AI or play basic decks against my my viewers. So that's actually something I've been really enjoying. So let's go over and introduce all the different classes and give you guys an idea of what they have to offer. So each class is going to have a hero power, and now these are changing all the time because we're still working on balancing the game and all that good stuff. But currently, they all have a specific hero power that gives them a theme to their deck. The Undead works I think it's very unique in that you pump up creatures, but you also are trying to sometimes kill your own creatures, or there's like a death rattle type effect. The Wizard is the hero power. You ping, you deal 1 damage, but it'll level up as you use your hero power. So I think that's super unique. It'll start to do 2 and 3 damage. It has a lot of AoE and direct damage. The Human will pump up his creatures. His hero power gives them +2/+0, I believe. Very knight-like, lots of minions. The Elf, by far one of my favorites, one of the most unique classes in my opinion, as far as like the regular card games go. The hero power for the Elf puts on a ritual on your opponent's squares. The ritual, it activates immediately if there's a creature currently on their square. You'll understand this a little bit more when we play a demo game. So if there is no creature there, then the ritual just stays. Your opponent can see it, it's not secretive, but once they play a creature on there, the ritual will explode, dealing damage to the minion. And you can stack your rituals, so you can deal 1, deal another, and then when he plays a creature, boom, 3 damage. Super unique, kind of like a trap. Currently there's no way to get rid of the traps, so I like that a lot. I think it would be really interesting if they come up with some sort of counter for this. All right, Dwarf. I honestly am terrible at playing the Dwarf. He is a really interesting character. A lot of defense, a lot of bigger creatures. Goblins. Hero power makes a 1/1, makes a 2/2 when it upgrades, makes a 3/3, so on and so forth. And this class goes really, really wide, has a lot of AoE explosions, like deal damage to enemies based on the number of creatures you have. So you dump a bunch of guys onto the board and go crazy. There's also a card called Lunge, or an ability called Lunge, and a card that gives you that ability, and it makes all of your creatures be able to bypass the opposing defenders and go straight face. It's kind of nuts. It definitely has some explosive capabilities, so watch out for the Goblin guys. Now that we've kind of introduced a lot of the classes, I wanted to take a few minutes actually, and play a game, kind of talk through it, see what it looks like, give you guys the opportunity to decide if it's something that you might want to check out. So I'm going to actually go with Wizard, and we will play against another Wizard. That's the other nice thing, is you can build multiple decks, and then when you go to choose the class, it lets you pick which deck you want to play. So we're going to just go base Wizard versus base Wizard. Keep things even. Sometimes the different hero powers don't match up real well. All right, so this is going to be the mulligan phase. You have a timer, unfortunately right under my portrait, you can't really see it. We have 60 seconds to start. You have your opening hand here. We have the opportunity to mulligan all of them, whatever we want to do. Crystal's a reasonable starting card, so we'll probably keep that. And then Flame, deal 3 damage to an enemy creature or player. So that's pretty good late. I don't think I want to keep it in my opener. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just keep the Crystal. I love how much this game is evolving as I've been able to stream it over the last couple of weeks. It's definitely changing very, very quickly, and unlike anything I've ever seen. All right, so here on the right side of my portrait is my mana. Each turn you get an additional mana, and the mana cost is up here on the top left of the card. Here's the timer for the turn, pretty self-explanatory. Now there are 5 places in front of each player. You play on your side of the board. You cannot attack through an opposing character, so my Crystal must attack unless there's an ability called Lunge on the table. So currently, what the Crystal does is when a friendly creature is summoned, you sacrifice this card. So I don't want to summon my 2/2 because it just kills this card essentially. I'm actually going to just hero power, and the way you do that is by clicking on your hero and dragging him out onto the square you would like to use your ability. This guy is actually really cool. It's one of my favorite cards in this class. So what this does is allows you to use your hero power twice. And when you have the ping ability, which is what we got, I think it's pretty strong. So I'm actually just going to run this guy in. And we can ping it, leaving this guy on the board, or we can just try to be mana efficient and throw a guy in front of his guy, which would make him probably have to attack our guy, which makes my first attack kind of really stupid. Again, I'm still learning, but it is a lot of fun, so definitely recommend. 3 mana. What does this card do? Summon elephants. I will summon elephants. This guy's gonna block the attack. Elephants, they will take blocks when things deal damage directly to the side. Deal 3 damage to an enemy creature. For the next 2 turns. We're pretty far behind on board, so I kind of like casting the acid. See if we can get some value here. Deal 1 damage to all creatures over the next 2 turns. We'll go ahead and hero power and hit him in the face with our Oliphant. We'll end the turn. It's definitely difficult to pick up any new card game and have a really good feel for the cards, but I think the Wizard class is a good point to learn a lot of these mechanics. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, draw a card. So I kind of like throwing my elephant into this person, and what she does is if you lose in fatigue, instead you win. You actually kind of want to have her at the end of the game. We're going to throw down our draw crystal here in front of the 1/3. We'll go ahead and ping the elephant. We have card advantage right now, so that's pretty sweet. Hopefully we'll get to draw some cards here. All right, add 20 health. Does not stack. All right, so this guy's got a boatload of health. Did get to draw some extra cards though. Deal 3 damage to all enemies after 1 turn. So that's pretty helpful. So if we cast this here, it'll also blow up anything he plays in the future. Put this guy and hero power here. Seems reasonable. So ideally, the Pyroblast now will deal 3 damage. Hopefully, he'll run his guy into our 1/1. Oh, nope. Just kidding. He played a card. There's also a tracker on the left. Nice, a lot of card games don't have. He played a card that destroys all creatures on the board, and you deal damage to your hero equal to the number of creatures killed. All right, so this guy, whenever you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all enemy creatures. So if we can get this out now and then next turn be able to potentially play a bunch of spells, definitely do some work. Played Acid, deal 1 damage to creatures over the next 2 turns. Played... Oh no! His Light for 2 damage, plus his hero power for another. What does this thing do? For the first... Or for the rest of the game, at the start of the turn, deal 2 damage to each player. I don't really want to do because he's got a lot more health than I do. Restore 8 health, then deal 3 damage. Okay, so I mean, it just heals. Oh. I guess healing doesn't actually heal that much. Gaining life and healing is different. Good to note. So he was able to go above the starting 30 health because he added 20 health. Whereas we healed. Very interesting. Deal 3 damage to all enemies. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and deal 3 damage to this. We don't want to play any creatures because the Pyro is going to deal 3 damage to our board. We are playing the same decks, so we will also eventually draw the card that allows us to gain 20 life, putting us back in the race, I think. All right, so this lady allows us to use our hero power twice. Hero power. I like using elephants and the light. I was gonna just hero power twice, but then we couldn't cast elephants. And I want to get a little something on the board. He is at 40, but only has 1 card. This card's pretty good. All spells trigger twice. I wish we had the elephants now. We're gonna go ahead and just waste our Pyro. It says deal 3 damage to all enemies next turn. He's got no enemies, but he also only has 1 card, so we're probably not gonna get a big board clear out of it. I think I just rather would rather have the 3/4. He ended up playing a minion for me to kill anyway. Excellent. All right, so this dragon will change your hero into a random god creature. But then you lose your hero power. So let's go ahead and hero power first. And we'll play this dragon. And then we will attack. 3 to the face, 1 to the face. There's no opposing creatures, so it can go directly to the dome. Acid, deal 1 damage over the next 2 turns. 1 damage each turn. Oh no, he's gonna kill my dragon. Stop it. Ooh, he can't anymore, right? So his hero power is upgraded twice. Costs 3 now. Deals 3 damage. So that was really nice that we are able to hit him at least. Actually a little scared to overcommit and place these creatures on the board. He's already used 1 giant like explosion card, but I would definitely hate to accidentally run into another board clear. Deal 4 damage to your player and 8 to the other player. Interesting. This lady gets +2 health when it's next to, this is actually really lucky, when it's next to a friendly minion. How best to kill him? Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and run here. This guy, it looks like he deals 3 damage. To the player across. We'll go here. I should have actually just done this. And then we'll go attack face with the flying crystal. It's nice that the hero power does 3 damage now. It's kind of a lot. We've definitely caught up in damage as well. And we haven't even played the card yet that gains us 20. Over here on the mid-right, guys, we have a deck list, so you guys don't forget. It's nice that it's built in. You don't need any kind of overlay like you do with a lot of other games. This card can be a little bit of a problem. Yay, now we gained 20 health. Underneath my portrait and on the bottom here, it shows our current deck. Deck size does matter once you run out of cards. You have, I believe, 4 turns to win the game, or you're dead. A little scary. All right, so if we go acid for 1, oh, that was the wrong card. That wasn't even acid. Haha. Just kidding. All right, we just did nothing essentially. So we'll go here. Hero power. This guy on death rattle, we gain a light, which is a 1 mana 2 damage spell, and we'll hit him in the face with the flying crystal. The placement is really important. Sometimes with other classes, they rely a lot more on placements. The elves, for instance, have a lot of cards that can attack diagonally without receiving damage back. 3 damage to... Card's a little bit of a problem. For the rest of the game, we have a lot more health, so this card's pretty good. Deals 2 damage to each player on their turn. And deal 4 damage to me and 8 damage to them. It's not bad. Oh, did he play that Pyro last turn? I honestly don't know. I shouldn't have played this. Should have known that. Fine. He's definitely on a very tiny clock now. He dies in 10 turns. Just from the spell we played, so. 2 mana, add light to your hand. We'll go ahead and deal 3 damage to the Pyro with our hero power, and we'll light it for the rest. Your turn, upkeep, take 2. Oh no, he blew up my card. By doing 3 damage to an enemy creature or enemy. Oh, this is a really good card. So she makes all spells trigger twice. We'll go ahead and play her. I guess we could have just hero powered. But regardless, we really want to get the creature on the board, so. Destroy all creatures. Oh! So he is speeding up the clock as well, so now each turn we take 4. Seems actually kind of bad for him. Hero power does 4 now. Quite the upgrade. I think the most I've ever gotten is 3. Ouch. And I believe he dies on upkeep. And we ran out of cards, so the little notification popped up saying 4 turns before death. But we can hero power, finish it off. Wizard is a pretty basic class, I think. Some of the other classes are a lot more intricate, but at the same time complicated, so I didn't quite think they would be a good fit for a tutorial. Anyway, that was an AI boss. You can play with your friends. You guys can play against random people, build your own decks. You can go to your library, which is, you have ever access to all the cards. You don't have to worry about dumping money or anything like that. On the left here, you have access to all your decks, including the basic decks. You can delete them if you want. I wouldn't recommend it just because it is nice if you're playing with other people that you want to teach to make sure you guys are, on a similar page. Smashing people with insane decks is not super fun when they're playing basics. There is quite a large library. As you can see, they all have different colors, which are specific to the class. Green being goblins, red being undead, and so on and so forth. And there are neutral cards as well. Are here in the black. My favorite being the turtle. He's quite adorable. But you'll definitely start to notice that you'll see a lot of the same cards in all of the decks, just because a lot of the black cards can be quite powerful. But then a lot of them are very, very class specific as well. This warrior here, what he does is every time you play a creature, he gains 1 attack. So you see him a lot in the goblin decks. They play so many little creatures, and then they give them death touch, and then they just run them in and kill themselves, and they play a bunch more creatures, and this guy will then hit like a truck. So you won't see him in a lot of the other decks, but some of them are quite class specific. All right, back to the home page here. If you guys are ever interested in any of the new stuff that's happening with the game, you can click on your name, and there is a game info button, and this will show you all the current patches, all the patch notes, and all the info you need to know for changes and upcoming stuff. Again, friends list, quite important. Make sure you guys add your friends so you can play with people as they show up. And I think that's about it, guys. Like I said, my first tutorial, I super nervous. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, there will be all the info you guys need for both the game and myself down below in the info section. Please leave me your comments. Let me know what you guys think, and feel free to add me for a game. Have a good night, guys. Thank you so much for watching.